sometimes I go into a company and I see some things that they're not even noticing, but they're great things, like people getting promoted or people staying there for a really long time, or people coming and saying, I know a different way of doing this. Would you let me try? That may be just a regular day for a manager, but for me as an outsider to see that type of behavior, I'm happy to tell them this is great. That means there is psychological safety. They want to experiment. They want to bring something new. They want to stay with you. So I think those are great signs. And also the other indicator, customer retention and customer satisfaction, that is a sign that your employees believe in the company. And that's a very loud indicator usually.
Happy people in your team usually means happy customers and vice versa. So I think we're going to talk a bit later about like the potential ROIs of good culture and doing that sort of change process. But I think for me, that's always been one of the biggest ones, because if your people are unhappy, I don't know, maybe I'm a skeptic, but I think you're kidding yourself if you think your customers aren't going to notice that.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, they will notice.
Another thing I hear quite frequently, I don't know if you do as well, is we're like a family around here. Now, to me, that has always felt a little bit distasteful. But a few conversations I've had with people in more recent years have underlined to me why that's actually pretty toxic. Firstly, and most importantly, is family doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. A lot of people have really contentious family lives, or dysfunctional, or abusive. All sorts of horrible things happen in the world, don't they? And so that prime directive that you mentioned earlier about would you want your mother or father to be treated in the way, maybe yes, they would want them to be treated horribly. So I don't know. You're assuming a relationship there, aren't you?
Right. So the whole family, we're like a family. It is very, I don't know, it pushes my buttons in many ways, because I know it's a positive intent. I know there is a positive intention behind it. And I know that sometimes it starts when the circle is small. And usually, like if you study the pattern, usually it starts with family members. Maybe there was a husband and a wife, or a father and a son. So they start bringing this small circle and it feels like a family. But as they grow and achieve success, it is unfair to tell your, 4,000 employees, we are a family, when you, Mr. CEO, don't even know their name. So no, we're not like a family. And then if we have to do layoffs, no, we're not like a family. So I think we should carefully use those terms, because it brings a false sense of safety to some people of, this is my family. I will do whatever it takes. And then when is their position the one that gets terminated, it hits differently. I'd like to empower a lot of my clients, like I mentioned earlier, will be, head of HR or people in culture. And if the CEO is that, strong patriarchal figure and comes and says, we're going to promote Sally. I had dinner with her 2 days ago. She's phenomenal. Her kids are going to go to college. We need to promote her. I want to encourage the person that is now has the responsibility to produce all the, we're going to promote you, your new salary. Even if you have to follow that directive, I would like to propose that they do some data collection and say, I understand this is what you want to do. I would like to see what level of competency or capability, maturity level Sally is at, so that we have a clear plan so that Sally can really succeed. And it's more than you like her and you had a great dinner, is we're going to set up Sally for success. So that a year from now, we're not talking about like, Sally doesn't know what she's doing, because that person is not going to be able to say, but we promoted her because you said she was ready, right? So having the data points to really support people in their success. Do people feel like they are able to contribute so they belong? And then we created this kind of like cycle because we didn't know what came first. Is it feeling of belonging or is it feeling of contribution? But we identified through the research that when you can contribute, then you can belong. You know there is a purpose for you in that particular place. So contribution leads to belonging. I think that was one of the most fascinating points of my research, was identifying what was first. So you cannot call that person a good manager until all the capabilities are rising to the same level. That was a long answer, but I hope I...
No, I like it. I think maturity is something that's not talked about enough in leadership generally, but certainly is relevant to culture too. And I think also it's quite important to disconnect that from age and experience.
Yes.
Because they're not automatically the same, are they? Certainly not in my experience. I'm pretty immature, to be fair.
No, I'm with you. No, it's absolutely not the same. And that's why we base the maturity level on specific capabilities. So a company can be 20 years old or 50 years old and be really immature in culture development. Or a company can be 5 years old and be performing at a level 4.